20 years ago, Active Schools set out with a powerful mission to get more people more active more often. Along the way, Sport Scotland championed and reminded us that we are all part of something big. Here in Stirling, volunteering has been integral to the opportunities our young people have benefited from. We have partnered with teachers, school staff, families, young people, sports clubs and local communities to make our mission a reality. Together, we've given thousands of young people positive experiences in sport and physical activity. Over the past 20 years, we've been so lucky to have so many fabulous volunteers. However, we are beyond blessed to have a few special heroes who have shared the whole 20-year journey with us.
Hi, my name's Catherine Taylor. I'm a teacher at St Ninians Primary School and I've been involved with Active Schools Stirling for 20 years and still going. And I just want to say happy birthday, Active Schools.
Catherine, thank you so much for joining us here today. We are so lucky that you've helped us over the last 20 years as part of the Active Schools programme in Stirling, and none of us have aged a day. What inspired you to take part in activities relating to active skills?
So the Active Schools was something so new and so different, and PE, as I wouldn't have said, was one of my kind of real skills. You know, I'm a creative person at art, music and everything. So anyone that comes and says, look, I'm a PE expert, I can do this, would you like to see how to do this? I say, yes please. And that for me at that point was fantastic. That was gold for me, because that gave me an opportunity to access sports and activities that I maybe wasn't so strong on. I didn't know where to, you know, like the wee introductory games that you play before you teach netball, the actual match, you know, the same with basketball, badminton, you know, like lots of those wee kind of practice skills things that the Active Schools people were able to say, oh, here's a wee game to practice throwing and catching in a fun way. And then I can then transfer it into my PE, and you know, so it's grown from there over the years.
Now, 20 years is a long period of time, and you've been involved in lots of different programmes. Can you tell us some of the programmes you've been involved in over the years?
Yep, sure. I could list them. So there's the golf. I remember a very, very wet golf trip to the golf club, where the poor wee souls, with all their wet gear on, went and puttied their wee hearts out down at the golf club, and then steamed for the rest of the afternoon as all their wet clothes tried to dry off. But the thing about that was that they were getting the real experience. So they'd done the golf with with the Active Schools people. They had done all the kind of training and practicing and how to hold a club and how to hit different clubs in different ways. And then they went to the golf club, and the golf club people, the real golf club people, were so welcoming and saying, oh, you could come and join this golf club and you can do this and that. And so it made it real. It wasn't just something they did at school and it wasn't passed on. So the golf was a highlight for me. That was P5. I think we did that for a few years. Cricket, which I knew nothing about whatsoever. So when somebody said, oh, we're coming to do cricket, I said, well, that's great, because I have no idea where to start with cricket. And that was the most interesting, because there were lots of different ways to play, to practice skills in lots of really active games, because I always thought of cricket as this very slow sport where nothing much happened for a long time. And when you've got young children, you think, how are we going to do that? But the people who came, the Active Schools people who came and taught the children, made it so active and energetic, and they were so enthusiastic. And I think the enthusiasm of the Active Schools people definitely does help the energy for the children, but also for the teachers, because you catch some of that enthusiasm and that energy too.
And I think because there's lots of different elements to Active School, so we've covered some of the things that are like school to club links. We've covered that there's CLPL for teachers that help people to upskill and become more confident and competent. And you yourself have delivered lots of extracurricular activities over the years, both before school and after school, and a number of activities. What have you enjoyed most about?
So I think probably the dancing ones were my favourite ones, because that's the music and the creativity that is where my joy comes from. So Think Dancing was a project that ran for 11 years, 12 years, something like that, and at that I was very enthusiastic to be involved in that. I was never a dancer though, I never did dancing, but the music, the choice of music, the fact that the children could create around, so they were choosing the music they were creating, but with that support from Active Schools, so that you were coming and having your eyes on it and saying, well, that looks great and that bit could go with that bit, and so we had all that kind of interactivity, which was wonderful. But the Think Dancing and then the moving to actually the performance, and the children got a chance to do all of that and have that experience. It was just, I thought that was a great project, and I really enjoyed it, and I was very enthusiastic about it. And then the other one, which I'm still involved in, a bit older now, but so I'm not so high kicking with the dancing, is the Scottish country dancing and the Day of Dance. And there were teachers who went before. I haven't been doing that for 20 years, but there were teachers who have retired and gone on to retirement, so there became a natural space for me to say, it's my turn now, I'll take the country dancing club. And it's we P3s and P4s that still do that, and that's quite a challenging thing to teach primary 3 how to Gay Gordons and Dashing White Sergeant, although the Flying Scotsman is a favourite. So I really like that it has this culmination of celebration in the Day of Dance. So they're coming together with all the different schools, and I think that's one of the biggest value things for Active Schools for me, is that you do these clubs in school, but then there's the opportunity to go and meet other schools that are doing it too, and the children see that other kids are doing it too, and I think that is the biggest value. And Active Schools are the people that can do that, because they're in and out of all the schools. So the football tournaments, the athletics at P5, where all the feeder schools get together, and then there's another competition with the wider council. Those things are the value, because all the kids see all the kids, and there's that togetherness of community, and we're all doing it.
And for you personally, what do you enjoy most about the volunteering aspect? Because to give up your time for 20 years is a significant contribution. What is it that in those week-to-week sessions working with the children give you the biggest buzz?
Well, first of all, when you're only teaching a class, you don't get to know the kids from the other classes so well, so it's an opportunity to engage with other children other than the children that you're teaching in your class. But it's also just their sheer enthusiasm, and they're so keen and they're so happy to be there, and they're so thrilled to be doing this. And then if they come and say to you, are you doing it again next year? I had a lovely experience last year actually, where the older girls, because it's a P3-4 club, said, Mrs Taylor, can we have a club? Can we have a club too? And so I set up a wee club for them. It didn't quite work it kind of stalled a little bit because of the timing of it. But this year, what I did instead of trying to run a club just for them was include them in the P3-4 club as young leaders.
Brilliant. And
so they were getting their dancing, but they were also had a little bit of responsibility, and they came along to the Day of Dance and joined in and had a lovely time. So that was really nice.
If you were to sum up Active Schools and your relationship with Active Schools in a few words, which words would you choose?
That's a hard question. It gives me energy and enthusiasm and skills. It upskills me. I think those would be my words.